Hi, folks. Thanks for tuning in. For Thanksgiving week, we're going to enjoy some previous episodes of This Day in History. I hope to be back with new videos after Thanksgiving weekend. Thanks again, and I hope you have a pleasant and fulfilling Thanksgiving. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for November 27th. We'll start by saying that November 27th is the 331st day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, with 34 days remaining to the end of the year. And now we're going to go back to the year 1095, when Pope Urban II ordered the First Crusade. In 1839, the American Statistical Association was founded in Boston. In 1868, convicted of desertion and mistreatment of soldiers earlier that year in a military court, the government had suspended Custer from rank and command for 1 year. 10 months into his punishment, in September of 1868, General Philip Sheridan reinstated Custer to lead a campaign against Cheyenne Indians who had been making raids in Kansas and Oklahoma that summer. Sheridan was also frustrated by the inability of his other officers to find and engage the enemy. And so, despite his poor record and unpopularity with the men of the 7th Cavalry, Custer was a good fighter. And so it is that without bothering to identify the village or do any reconnaissance, Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer led an early morning attack on a band of peaceful Cheyenne living on a reservation with peaceful Chief Black Kettle. Custer's habit of boldly charging Indian encampments of unknown strength would eventually lead him to his death at the Battle of Little Bighorn. 1911, White House housekeeper frets over William Howard Taft's waistline. On November 27th of 1911, Elizabeth Jaffray, a White House housekeeper, wrote in her diary about a conversation she'd had with President William Howard Taft and his wife about the Commander-in-Chief's ever-expanding waistline. 1924, in New York City, the first Macy's Day Thanksgiving Day Parade was held. 1940, Bruce Lee was born. The martial arts expert and actor was born in San Francisco, California. In his all too brief career, Lee became a film star in Asia. Tragically, Lee died in 1973 after suffering brain edema, believed to be caused by an adverse reaction to pain medication. He was only 32. In 1942, Jimi Hendrix was born. Wow. He also died too early. He was quite a phenomenal influence in music and died of a drug overdose when he was 27. In 1957, American lawyer and diplomat, 29th United States Ambassador to Japan, Caroline Kennedy was born on this day in 1957. Just 5 days shy of her 6th birthday, her father, President John F. Kennedy, was assassinated. She's the only surviving child of President Kennedy and First Lady Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy. 1965, Vietnam War. The Pentagon tells U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson that if planned operations are to succeed, the number of American troops in Vietnam has to be increased from 120,000 to 400,000. That is a lot of young lives. 1978, in San Francisco, City Mayor George Moscone and openly gay city supervisor Harvey Milk were assassinated by former supervisor Dan White at City Hall in San Francisco. White, who stormed into San Francisco's government offices with a .38 revolver, had reportedly been angry about Moscone's decision not to reappoint him to the city board. Firing upon the mayor first, he then reloaded his pistol and then turned his gun on rival Milk. Now, look, this kind of approach never works. I mean, if he wanted his job back, you don't kill the boss or the guy who got your job. That's a terrible idea. Very bad idea. I mean, it might just have been proof that there was a reason why he didn't get his old job back. I don't know. So, in 2001, a hydrogen atmosphere was discovered on the extrasolar planet Osiris by the Hubble Space Telescope, the first atmosphere detected on an extrasolar planet. Now, what does extrasolar mean? That just means an extrasolar planet is also known as an exoplanet. That just means it's outside the solar system. In 2005, Aerosmith and 50 Cent headlined a $10 million bat mitzvah. This was huge now. They also had Kenny G, Don Henley, Tom Petty. Holy cow, what a big party that was. I think that sounds like it might have been more for the parents than the child. The father who spent $10 million celebrating his daughter's coming of age was a defense contractor, David H. Brooks, CEO of DHB Industries, a Long Island company that manufactured body armor for the United States military. 2 years after the lavish event, Brooks was served with a 71-page federal indictment featuring charges of insider trading, tax evasion, and raiding his company coffers for personal gain, including for the $10 million he used to pay for his daughter's lavish bat mitzvah. You got to keep your business and your personal, and don't mix them up. Thank you so much for watching, and I think that's going to do it for us. As always, links to my research are included in the show notes. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and feel free to share. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Okay, let's turn the volume up. See, this is why I edit them so heavily. You're going to get the raw video this time. Let's do that one again. Blah, 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 coffee mug. It's late enough in the day that we're off coffee and on fizzy water. Just read the words. Just read the words. That's a lot of words. Hope I pronounced that right. There goes my crazy neighbor's car horn again. I'd like to think that one day she'll learn how to use that thing, but she'll just talk over it. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? She's not a man. Sure would be nice if I could ever read one of these in its entirety without having to start anything over. That would be awesome. I might have to take another look at that. I'm gonna have to look at that. This is why I don't do live shows.